All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Ashley Pickett, and welcome to the Watertown Daily Times workshop. Before we get started, I wanted to mention that you should have received the how-to guide in your email. They are also available on the LibGuide on NCLS's website. In a few weeks, you will also get some bookmarks sent to you from NCLS. And if you ever, of course, have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. But let's go ahead and share my screen. Hopefully you'll be able to see that here. Okay. All right. You should be able to see NCLS's home screen here. This is where we start for all of our online resources. And what you would do is go to ncls.org. And then you actually want to go about this one a little bit differently. You'd actually click on the online resources button itself. And that should bring you to a whole page with everything listed. So you keep scrolling down. Okay, so on the right-hand side here, it's search the Watertown Daily Times collection. And this is where you want to go to get started. I should say that online we have access to a couple of different year ranges, if you will. This particular collection that I'm going to show you right now is actually paid for by the Northern New York Library Network. It is not paid for by NCLS, but because of its value to our patrons, we make it available with all of the rest of our online resources. Okay. So from 1988 until present day, you'll find all of those particular articles from that range available here. And it's available 24/7 on any device, hopefully. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the link. All right. So this one does require your library card number. So let me type that in. Okay, perfect. This is exactly where we want to be. Like all of the online resources that exist, there are a few clicks you have to go through. Click on the Watertown Daily Times collection again. And this is where it will bring you. Now I have some font settings built in here, so I'm actually going to zoom them down a little bit. There we go. Okay. So if you scroll down, you're actually going to notice that there are some different date ranges that apply to our database. Now, they will, depending on which one you pick, it kind of affects the way your results display. So if you were to choose the 1988 to current, all of the articles that come up are going to be text only. However, if you choose 2018 to current, they actually are laid out exactly the way that a newspaper would look like. So depending on where your article falls and what you're interested in, date-wise, that may dictate one way or the other which way you have to go. But if you have a preference in the way the article looks, you could choose based on that as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on 1988 to current to give you an idea of what you see there. Okay. And I am going to search my last name and where I'm from. Okay. If I scroll down, I was hoping a family member would pop up here. There we go. This one, well, not as old as I was thinking it would be. But this particular article here is one that I'm going to choose just to kind of demonstrate some things for you. So remember, I clicked on the 1988 to current link. So when I go ahead and click on this particular result, this is what I mean when I say the article shows up with just text. Okay, so it's got just text. It doesn't look like it would look in a newspaper layout, but the content is there for you. It's also going to go ahead and highlight your search terms throughout. So you'll see those. And then it also actually provides a caption for a photo. So if I knew that there was a photo attached to this particular article, I could go ahead and contact the Watertown Daily Times and get a copy of it that way. Of course, there might be some fees that apply, but that's okay. However, because I know that this article is from 2022, it's in the other version of the database, so we can get a copy that way too. Okay, but you go back up to the top. You're always going to have the date that the article ran, the author, byline, their information is here. You're also going to get information on the particular page and the section that the article occurred in the paper. And one of the features that I love is that it'll actually read it aloud to you, which I thought was pretty neat. You can go ahead and choose a different font if you would like that article to change the way that it appears on the screen. There's ways to print. You can download and save a copy for yourself. There's a link button here, which I haven't. Yes, it's a permanent link here that you can go ahead and share with others. That's available for you. And then, yes, this is the citation button, which is helpful for those who are working in a scholarly environment. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to results. And you notice there were a whole bunch of articles that came up. There are some kind of filters over here on the side that you can choose to apply to your results list if you were interested. So I'm going to go to the oldest available through this particular database, and I'm going to go ahead and click. And you always have to click apply for this date range to work its magic. Okay. Yeah, this is what I was expecting to see. So you'll notice this article is actually from 1989. I'm going to go ahead and click on this one for my aunt and uncle here, if you were interested. But same rules apply. It's just the text. You scroll all the way down through. You'll notice that there is a photo associated, so you could go ahead and contact the Times. Now, because this article ran in 1989, we don't have access digitally to this photograph. So the easiest way right now for us to get our hands on it is to go ahead and contact the Times. Now, here at Flower, we do have microfilm readers. Unfortunately, they are broken. It's been written into the budget to get us a new one, and hopefully we'll have our hands on a new one this summer. So that means we could hunt down this particular film reel that has the paper for this date and try to get a copy that way. But better quality photographs are going to be obtained through the Times themselves. Okay, but you still have, you still have all your download, your print, citation, your link, all of those buttons are right up at the top again. Okay, so back to our results list. I am still in that 1988 decade, 1980s decade. So you could filter your date down further. You can even kind of choose a specific date range if you wanted. You can choose, a specific year. I tend to play with both of those options the most. There's a source name, and only the Watertown Daily Times paper comes through this database for us. That's all we pay for, or excuse me, NNYLN pays for. So that particular filter doesn't apply. There is a kind of a Lexile reading score that they give to the articles as well. And of course the language is here, but everything should only come in English. So you'll find that too. Okay, so this was the 1988 to current option. However, if we go back to, takes me a second to get to the home page here. The Watertown Daily Times collection. in 2018 to current, you'll see things are a little bit different. Okay, you'll notice our date range here changed. You can always check and see where you are if your results aren't quite coming up the way you think they should. Go back and check that date range if you feel like something's missing. All right. So they will break things down based on the calendar for you right here. And if you're interested in today's paper, it should pop up here. And this is what I meant by it will display just like it would look in the newspaper. Yep. So because I'm on a laptop screen and not, a giant monitor, takes some playing and moving around the mouse to get things to display correctly. But you have your whole newspaper for free for our patrons, but paid for by Northern New York Library Network right here. Okay. You still have all of your options, your printing, your downloading type of options here, but there's a new one. This one is the clipping. So I don't know if I can do this without being, there we go. Yeah, there's the box. So you can move this little box around, change its shape and size, and download just a section of the paper. Save it to your Google Drive if you have one, especially our patrons. If they've got a personal one, you can download just a simple PDF if you'd like, or print just that section. It's all available there for you to use. If you need to, you can, yes, zoom in and out, make your fonts bigger, which I love. Oops. Okay, and then you have the option to, if I can get the bar to come up, there it is. Scroll through the pages of this particular paper if you know exactly where you're heading, this way. And then there is also a little drop-down box that gives you your page options here as well. Okay. If we pop back to our search screen, you have a drop-down bar here that gives you the years available in this format. You can choose them there. You can choose an issue by date by clicking on one of these little blue numbers, not boxes, numbers, if you know exactly where you're heading again. But then there also is the search bar up here. So you could enter search term and hit search. And it should, yep, pop up with a list of results. Now I didn't put in a middle initial. I didn't put in any kind of quotes to filter out some things. So let's try that. Yeah, we went from 32 to 1. That sounds about right. Oh, there I am, 2019. So you'll notice though, on the left-hand side, we still have those same kind of filters. So a lot of the things look the same. It's just how the particular results and articles are laid out that change between the two different versions of the database. Okay. We also, so we've got these particular databases here at Flower. Once we get our microfilm readers back up and working, we can look for things older than 1988 for you. If needed, just give us a call. The only problem is we don't have an index to those. So if you don't have a decent date in mind, it's a lot of searching reel by reel. But it is possible in those situations where you don't have a date. We suggest reaching out to the Times to get a date because they do have better searching over there. And then once we have our reader back up and running, we can pull out the reels for you. But then you also have access to historic newspapers through the New York State Historic Newspaper Database. I don't know if you're familiar with that one, but let me see. Get to it. Let's try here. Yep, there it is. This is available anywhere with an internet connection. There it is. anywhere with an internet connection, and you should be able to access Watertown Daily Times articles that are from before 1922. Okay, so I tend to click on Jefferson, and then from here you can see all of the papers they have for Jefferson County specifically. Where's my Watertown? Let's try page 2. There we go. So the Watertown newspapers have had some different names over the years, but they are there. So let me see. I don't even know if it'll pull up anybody with this name, but let's try it. Yeah. Okay. So it tries to give you relevancy first as their search term. I suggest to people to sort by date. That way they can start bouncing around and finding where they want to be, narrow things down. But this particular name brought us as far back as 1849. So yeah, these are available for our patrons anywhere as well. So are there any questions? Did I miss anything in the chat? This was a quick one. Anything else I can go over for anybody while we're here? Happy to cover anything. Anything you need? You good? All right. So if there aren't any questions or anything else I can cover, I will turn you loose. But remember, we're always here to help, and we will try to figure some things out if you've got any questions. But we're happy to do so. So take care, and I will hopefully see you soon. Bye.